and today I'm going to be doing a little review. Now, as you can see in front of me, I've got the apps that I have on my iPhone, and yay, I have more space on my iPhone. Upgrade. Okay, so the first one I'm going to test here is by Tap Fuse, and it's Ghost Hunter Touch. Now, I downloaded this years ago. I don't even know whether you can still find it, but because of the fact that I either purchased it or downloaded, I don't know. I really can't even tell whether they're still, you know, I don't know whether I paid for it or got it for free. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up for you so you can have a look at it. And this is what it looks like, Ghost Hunter Touch. Now, I did a couple of experiments earlier, as in, you know, just testing, because I wanted to make sure that it actually recorded on, you know, through to my computer so I could actually record the screen of the phone. Now, the only disadvantage is that because I'm recording off my monitor of my screen, you're not able to see me or my hands or anything like that. So if I do touch anything, I'm actually going to tell you when I'm going to touch. But I mean, in all respect, especially when it comes to this thing here, which is when I'm going to touch here, see, it gives off this, you know, like it vibrates or it makes a ding. I'm not sure whether it actually makes noise. Now, that was me because I moved the phone. So if I turn up the volume, okay, and then I tap it, okay, so that's the noise it makes. So I'm going to just wait for a few seconds, probably about 20 seconds, and see whether anyone can come up and touch this. I'm just going to keep my hand away from it. Please trust me that I'm doing this because I'm not going to do a review and, you know, falsify anything. So I'm just going to wait. And I think it also goes to be, you know, you've got to be careful of even moving your hand in front of it, even if you don't actually touch it. Because I actually noticed before, even though I didn't touch it, I just sort of like moved my hand, and I don't know whether it was because of the shadow of my hand or what. I mean, I wasn't even anywhere near the screen, but I'm not even going to put my hand over the screen in any way, even casting a shadow. I don't know how these mobiles work, but I feel that you've got to actually physically touch it, you know, but I don't know. I'm not going to take that risk. So we'll just wait and see whether anyone can come up and touch this. So if there's any spirit present in the room with me, Chris, Albert, or Tracy, if you're around, can you come and touch the top of this iPhone, please? I'm not going to force you, but if you can help me test this, I'd really appreciate it. No? Not interested in testing it? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is show you on here. This is where the recording area is, and as you can see, I've got two here. You can actually, I think you can upload them. Let me just have a look by memory. Okay, so we can connect your device to the computer and open iTunes. Select your device on the left side of iTunes, select the apps. Scroll down to file sharing and select Ghost Hunter, drag, sync your EVPs. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I thought maybe you could go to SoundCloud or something like that, but not so. So what I'm going to do is just exit out of that screen, And what it is basically is you're recording EVPs, so it's not doing any type of radio sweep. This is basically an EVP recorder, but technically every mobile that I've ever known, touch phone or smartphone, whatever you call them, they all have like a built-in mic or recorder on them. So you could physically just hit record, like a memo thing, and just hold it up and ask the spirits present in the room or in the area where you are to come up and talk into the device in your hand. So you actually indicate by holding it in your hand or placing it down on a table or flat surface and asking them to go up and speak into the device. It's that easy. And if they want to, you welcome them, but don't ever force them. Don't tell them, you know, if you don't do it, I won't talk to you or no one will help you, because that's just nasty and they deserve respect. Now, if you have a look at the top here, and I'm just going to sort of mouse over that area in here, you see a little spectrograph. That will begin to fluctuate on the screen as it begins to record. It's just showing you the different pitches, so to speak, of the sound around you. Now, because I live in the city, can't avoid traffic and outside noise no matter how quiet you are. So it is evening, and everything, as you know, is amplified in the evening. So what I'm going to do is just hit record, and I'm going to ask before I do that if Chris, if you can come up and speak into this, or if any other spirit is present that I'm not aware of as yet, if you could please come up and talk into this, I'd really appreciate it. And there's no pressure, but I would appreciate if you could, even if you can come up and say hello into this device. So I'm going to hit record now. And there's the pattern of the spectrogram as I'm talking. It's moving. Now I'm going to move this over to my left because I've got a feeling someone is beside me. Can you please say hello into what I'm holding in my hand? Now, if you can say that a little louder, please, just in case it didn't pick you up. And now we have a plane. Now, sometimes when there is noise, like planes and cars and so on, they can actually help spirit in aiding to speak, believe it or not, because basically they utilize or hijack this sound around the person. That's why we've got, like, you know, occasions where spirit will voice hijack and so on. So I'm not going to record any more of that. I feel that's enough. And this is when it comes up, you've got to name the recording. Name that recording. So what I'm going to do is name this. Okay, so I'll just put night. Oh, look at that nightmare. I'll just think I'll go with night on that. And so now we can actually listen back to that. So I'm just going to put my mic down over here because I don't want that to be interfering. So here is night, and as you see, it automatically goes in alphabetized.
Please say hello to what I'm holding in my hand.
Okay, so I don't need to play that bit again, but as you saw there, I don't know whether you could detect that. I might have to raise the amplification, but I felt around the time when I lifted the actual phone to my left, I could actually feel the energy over to my left side, and it'll be interesting. I didn't actually have headphones on replaying that back, but it'd be interesting to hear whether or not there was any type of interference, that type of thing, because before, when I was doing the experiment before, there was actually a staticky sound. So I'll see if I can find that, and it's in here somewhere. Okay. That was my first attempt. Okay. Yeah, that's when he was over there. So I don't know whether you could actually hear that, but there was static that I picked up from Chris before, and that's why I wondered if I went back again and, you know, because I could still feel that he was around, and at the moment now I'm not feeling him. But it'd be interesting to hear upon playback, because I don't have my headphones on. I'm just sort of like, you know, listening back at that through my monitor. So it'll be really interesting to see whether or not there is that static there again, because I felt them there again. So I thought I'll put it over to my left and have a listen. So, you know, see whether they talk into it or not. But I don't force them. This is the thing. You must never force spirit. Always welcome them, but don't force them. So this is a nifty little device if you can actually get a hold of it. So it's called Ghost Hunter Touch. And the name of that, let me just, it's by Tap Fuse version, Tap Fuse version 1. So let me see if I can bring up anything. Waiting. Nothing's loading, and I think that's probably because it's no longer available. And they've also got this one here, the Ghost Hunter EVPs. Is that available? See, probably because they're saved. And I really don't know whether they're both by Tap Fuse. So if anyone knows Tap Fuse, it'd be interesting to see, you know, whether they're still putting out any types of apps or anything like that, or what's happened to them. But what was that, Chris? Okay, must have been a passing by saying something. I missed what he said. Yeah, so with this particular app, this one is also an EVP, the green one beneath it, Ghost Hunter EVP. Nothing was obviously there, so from Tap Views. So if anyone knows whatever happened to them, just let them know that there is a review on the Ghost Hunter Touch. I don't find it too bad, actually. I think it's, you know, if you can still get it, or if you've got a copy of it anywhere, it's not too bad. I believe this can work. I think this bit here, see, it makes that noise when you've got the sound up, or if you have it on vibrate on the phone, like put it on silent, it just makes this. Makes like a vibrating sound or noise. I'm not going to give it a rating per se, because it is only basically a recorder, and it's got the touch option. It has great potential of recording EVPs. It is typically a recorder with a fancy dressing, so to speak. So you've got the spectrograph going in the background. You've also got the decorative look. So it does look like something that you could use on location. And the good thing is you can actually also save that to your computer, I believe. I haven't done it yet. I haven't exported it, so I can't say for a fact that I've had success in doing so. Perhaps I should try doing that in order to see whether it works or not. I'm sure that it can be done, but it's not the biggest important thing for me, but for other people it may be. So I hope this review on Ghost Hunter Touch has been exciting for you. It's always interesting to have a look at what's out there. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, please put down in the comments why. Because if you're hiding behind an unlike button, I'm not even going to acknowledge, I'm just going to say, well, you're just, typically spamming my account. But if you don't like it, I would really appreciate you telling me why. Simple as that. So it is only a review on an app. I hope that it has helped anybody out there. And this is another thing too, try and use your recorder on your phone more than using spirit boxes and stuff like that. I mean, look, they work, but don't desensitize yourself, because if you are always listening to spirit boxes and always listening to spirit apps, that type of thing, you're going to desensitize yourself to hearing any EVPs. And I think people become lazy when you're listening for EVPs. That's real communication. That's something that is undeniable, intelligent contact. And there are some things that spirit can and can't manipulate. And I feel that, you know, if they had, you know, like for example, if you had someone in front of you, would you pick up a phone and just talk to them through a phone, or would you prefer to talk face to face? So the same with spirit. Think of it that way, and it might give you a better understanding of why sometimes they will be, you know, against using some of the products, or they'll get frustrated and angry. So if they have a chance of speaking with you, just try recording. Have a listen at what communication you have, because the likelihood of the communication is there in the room or in the actual location with you. Bear in mind noises such as rustling of jackets, motion, any type of sound that is man-made per se can be mistaken also for an EVP. This is why it's always important when you're doing a recording or that type of thing that you do listen close and see whether there is actual anything that could be debunked. I mean, there are very clear audible EVPs out there. I've captured them. I've heard other people have captured them in their videos. They're there. They are there. And it's not just clothing. It's, you know, they could be completely still and you'll hear EVPs. But don't desensitize yourself. That's all I've got to say. Keep a balance in your life and be ready for connections, because they're all around us. And always remember, respect the afterlife, because someday we're going to be over there. Have a great week.